Hello, this is a trailer for my stream. Another stream, another week. I wasn't here last week, but gotta keep it up, gotta keep going, despite what the world throws at you. And speaking of which, I got a bone to pick with this guy I sometimes tune into. Not so much him, but his philosophy. And his name is MemeAnalysis. He basically takes memes that are on the internet shared by younger people usually, and he tries to psychoanalyze them. He throws in a little bit of psychology of Freud and Jung. He throws in a little bit of esoteric new age self-help and self-love and his own different belief systems and interpretations. Um, yeah, how do I put this without completely bashing the guy? I guess I won't bash him, but I really hate this self-help, self-love, poisoned red pill stuff that's going around, that has been going around since what, the 1960s, really? I mean, it's even on the conservative side. It really is. It's this idea that, you know, we have these people that prefer their bias to the point where all they do is sell you one particular sliver of the pie as to why things are messed up. And in this case, the, meme analysis is one of these people that mocks those that have problems with depression and existential crisis and fantasies about girls and things. And I don't agree with that anyway. I don't agree with mocking people's brokenness unless they're openly for evil, unless they know what they're doing is wrong, or they're pushing an agenda down everyone's throats. And then it's like that's different because you're trying to bring people into your own misery. But he mocks them, and he always says, well, not always, but he often says, well, they're not grown up, they're infantile, they're just people that they haven't grown up, they're man children. And I'm like, okay, well, you play with tarot cards for fun. I'm like, it's just a little bit strange to be, any person that is religious or believes in something, some invisible supernatural force like me, should be careful on making fun of things that are strange because, that's what happens to a lot of people that believe in that. It happens, and not to mention there were a lot of correct people throughout the world that were mocked. Need I go through the great minds of Western civilization that were often dismissed, religious or secular? I don't agree with that. That's my first problem with analysis. But it doesn't stop there. That's not the dangerous part of him. I'm not saying, oh, just don't be a meanie pants. We're all guilty of being a little bit crass. But the second issue is that self-help and self-love does not address issues involving this psychological inner healing. It helps a little bit. It can help. It's a light. It's like it's like giving vitamins to someone who has cancer. It's like the vitamins may help a little. It's good that they're eating well. But at the end of the day, they need to get some serious operation done, or they need something very strenuous, or someone that is just in a critical condition. These problems are much deeper than we realize. Meme analysis, and I just completely disagree with this. Like, well, they just have to grow up and be a man and be individualistic to an extreme and be like the Buddha because he's into the new age stuff. And I just don't see that. First of all, hasn't anyone heard of a functioning alcoholic? I had some in my family. There are people that have issues of great unhappiness and addiction, but still are productive members of society. I mean, it isn't just alcohol, but that's a big case. What about just the sexual revolution? Internet pornography. Virtually everyone's hooked to that, and there are plenty of people, I'm sure, that run the world that are into that stuff. It's just there are people that are well-meaning that are broken in that way. Um, I don't agree that, and many people can mask it. Many people. I go to a men's group. There are people there that are very responsible people. They have their stuff together. They're more responsible than me. They're very organized people. I would say they're some of the most organized people I've ever known. I would trust them with almost any responsibility or job, but they struggle with these similar issues. These similar. Everyone struggles with this stuff, and I think it's a very superficial. His diagnosis is okay, but even that isn't correct. But his solution is so superficial, and there are so many people. At least he isn't making money off of it. But there's so many people that sell these stupid self-help, self-love books. You cannot self-help and self-love loneliness away. That is just not true. That does not stand up to the test of time. It is too much of a deep woundedness to love yourself out of it. Okay? That's why there's this gentleman behind me and this lady behind me. Okay? This is the point. You need to experience immense love to start to get healing from loneliness, or you be part of a well-adjusted society and culture, which, let's be real, we don't have. You know, is it really okay to be harshly saying "grow up, man" to people that have been through divorces, or maybe parental abuse or bullying, or have no objective ethos? They were never raised to even introspect, and they're raised in a bad school system, and there's no churches, there's no prayer groups, there's nothing that are meant to help with these issues. And not to mention tons of pop psychology, which are covering up a lot of the deeper psychology that could help, but most people aren't as pop psychology, and they don't know much about psychology, or they don't practice it much. They definitely don't know about philosophy or spirituality. Um, so I disagree with that, and this is my third issue with meme analysis is what he's doing, and particularly with his criticism of a fantasy about girls. He went into this thing about Oedipal complex, which is kind of prevalent. I mean, he did clarify that the Oedipal complex exists, but in a different way, like how kids admire their parents, and those ideals do affect their tastes in a partner. That's true. He didn't get too strange with that, but he was saying, oh well, guys that are into overly submissive and feminine fictional and non-fictional characters are just man children, and they want the woman to be like their savior, and they're codependent. Well, that may be true. I'm not saying that's not possible, but I don't see that much. First of all, in the culture, I see a lot of people settling for really bossy. At least the people I know, I see a lot of bossy, pushy women, and men settling for it out of desperation. Really mean ladies, instead of the man respecting himself. Excuse me, my necktie is out of place. See, there's my little neurosis right there. Instead of the man respecting himself and expecting someone who will respect him as the leader of the family, they go along with it because they're so starved for female love. I don't see, I wish, it'd be better if there were, overly girly girls running around. I'm sure that would be a man's paradise. Overly girly, submissive housemakers. I mean, I don't think that's the issue. I don't see it at least that much. And you could say in the fictional world that's a thing. But yeah, there's other problems there, other than just, oh, they're just man children, like the problems I mentioned. But here's the other issue I have. You see, you have this New Age Buddhist individuation. I don't know what he's trying to push, but reject your selfish desires, which means something different compared to the Western mystical, spiritual, philosophical understanding. Okay, the teachings of Jesus Christ and the following of Jesus Christ and all the philosophers that agree with them believe that yes, we can be twisted up, but our drives and our passions and our desires are not inherently evil, they're just fallen. And that is very important. Whereas it seems like in Eastern religion, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a complete rejection of ego to the point where you become nothing and you become one with the universe, which is, it's done a number on India, in my opinion. Look at what Mother Teresa had to deal with. No offense to any Eastern religious people here. I just disagree with that idea that you have to go so hardcore and extreme. I think that's why the Sikh religion was kind of developed, and Buddhism. And Buddhism is pretty hardcore. They had more hardcore stuff than Buddhism before Buddha came around, called Jainism and Hinduism, right? But the Western idea is you take the good from the bad. You don't reject it all just because you want to grow up. And so what? You're saying that there's this Oedipal complex where when men like submissive and feminine women, well, isn't what's wrong with a submissive and feminine woman? Maybe an extreme of that might be bad in some regards. A woman who doesn't have her own self-agency or something, but women are supposed to be nurturing. They're supposed to be mothers. That is the archetype of a woman. That is the archetype of the mother-father dynamic. And so, you're going to tell these guys to grow up and forget it to the point of not taking the good from that bad. We have to be careful with this whole mindset. And next, it's like this whole thing of it's always your fault. Now, I don't believe that. And I also believe that inner healing comes from taking the fight to the world when you see something wrong. You know, maybe these guys need that. Who the hell are you, meme analysis? Who are the hell are you, Mr. Progressive Leftist, to tell me that I shouldn't want a nurturing mother for a wife? Who the hell are you? That can actually help. You know, um, I, and on top of that, the Doomer thing where he made fun of them. Well, let's be real, meme analysis. I see you're super soft politically. Maybe it's because you're a liberal and you don't want to let that cat out of the bag. But society isn't perfectly neutral. The status quo isn't all our fault. The status quo is a mess. The status quo is anti-family, anti-God, and anti-life, and we all know it. You go on those dating sites and you see that most people just want to swing around the vines. No one's interested in marriage, and I'm not shocked that people want to distance themselves from that. Okay? And I think we need retrogrades. We don't need indifferent edge lords who try to tell everyone, "Oh, just grow up. That's the way the world is." I think we need people to, yes, look at themselves honestly, but then also say, okay, I have bad things I got to get take care of, but I also have my own passions still, and they're not bad. They just need to be purified and brought into something better. That is the logical Western civilization path we need. Now, we also need an inner power to heal us, an inner love that is so great we can, yes, be detached from our addictions, but at the same time hold true to what is right and what is true and beautiful and just, hold true to traditional values and to love and to the very specific things that God wants from people that are very specific. It's not just, oh, just reject everything, man. Let's do one with the universe. Just let it go to the point where you don't even care about anything else going on. You don't care about your neighbor. You don't care about your own, destiny. You're just like, oh, well, you just zen out, okay? So that is my rant against meme analysis. And this is just one poison red pill. There's also people that like to blame the world for everything, and I'll cover that in another video, probably on Thanksgiving or Friday or something. But this is a trailer for my stream. It's 1 p.m. Eastern this Saturday. Please tune in, and I will discuss more about poison red pills. These pseudo truths, these biased pseudo truths that are not going to help us break out of the bad cycles we're seeing in our society. Thank you for tuning in, and God bless.